Thank you, Mr. President. Senate Amendment 3054 is a very important amendment when we talk about the actual concept that we are trying to achieve here. I'm going to walk through each section of this amendment and explain what it's going to do. But overall, the really important concept here is the protection of police officers as well as the protection of the public. Confidence and trust are critical to executing the mission of safe policing in our communities. What this amendment is designed to do is to ensure we have balanced those interests and goals, make the profession of policing safer, as well as make sure our community feels safe when they are approached by police officers. The first part of this amendment is very simple. It makes sure we do not pass an unconstitutional standard for qualified immunity. The amendment is based on a 2018 Supreme Court standard from the Baldwin case that explains quite clearly when we talk about qualified immunity in government positions, we have to ensure that the person trusted with the immunity exercised at a minimum due care in the execution of their office. So in this instance, the amendment reads, any claim based on an act or omission of an employee of this state exercising due care in the execution of enforcement of any law. That's a simple and important concept to make sure that we do not protect extreme, outrageous misconduct with the bill as it is today. Due care is a basic confidence standard. We should expect due care when someone is exercising their duties, when arrests are being made. There's a reason why the Iowa Supreme Court adopted a due care standard for essential protection of our citizens. And it's not an old case. This is a 2018 decision. This is very current case law saying when we're talking about constitutional rights, you must at least protect due care as the standard. So that's part one of this amendment. Part two, when we talk about the liability of individuals, intentional or knowing violations of the law are not protected. Again, think about that concept. If you make a knowing violation of the law, or you make an intentional violation of the law, we don't want to protect that conduct. Again, an essential protection for our citizens, as well as confidence and trust for our law enforcement community. Next section, a risk pool to make sure that we have insurance to cover claims for punitive damages in tort law. Punitive damages are reserved for the most outrageous conduct. And we should make sure that if someone engages in a willful and wanton disregard for the rights of another, extreme outrageous conduct with extreme outrageous damages associated with it, that our municipalities are able to pay out the damages due and do it in the most efficient way. The next section focuses on due process in these claims, to ensure that investigations are taken up in a timely manner. 180-day period for filing to make sure evidence is fresh, so we know what's going on with an investigation. We have a section in here to make sure we are preserving legal rights for officers who are victims of false complaints. Not unfounded complaints, but false complaints, knowingly filing false information to do damage to a police officer. We should protect rights for individuals who are victims of false complaints. Furthering the due process aspect of this amendment, no disciplinary action shall be imposed until the conclusion of appeals and grievances. Due process, making sure that an officer is not punished or penalized until the complaint is actually fully vetted, and not just by the first level of an investigation, but a final decision. This is a balanced amendment to make sure that those who are engaged with protecting the safety of our community are protected, as well as our citizens. This is the kind of amendment that ensures binding trust in our communities between law enforcement. It does not do a service to our law enforcement community to tell them that they should be protected by a standard that we know going into it is unconstitutional, and if it is constitutional, will protect egregious misconduct. I hope that this amendment is able to be viewed for what it is, an important element of ensuring this legislation doesn't cause more problems by simply trying to fix a political solution. Thank you.
Is there